All right, guys, I've got my very first quarterly box from Nomadik. So if you're into camping stuff, hiking, just being outside, this may just be the subscription for you. So let's open this thing up and see what we got. What's up, guys? Eric here from At Home in the Future, and I'm back with another Nomadik unboxing. But this time, this is actually one of their quarterly boxes. So this is the first time that I've done one of these. This is for fall 2022, and it's huge. You can see the logo down here, but this thing takes up just about the whole screen. So if you're unfamiliar with Nomadik, I've been doing their monthly subscription for a while now. A really cool box. If you pay for it over the course of a year, it averages out to about 30 bucks a month, but they send you really cool camping and hiking stuff every month. But this is their quarterly box. This is new to me. So this is about 150 bucks every quarter, but they say it's packed full with like $200 or $250 worth of gear every quarter. So pretty interesting. But let's pop the seal on this thing and check it out. If you want to get started for yourself, check out the link on the screen or down in the description, and you can check this out too. But pretty interesting box from what I've seen of it. So I'm excited to open it up and check it out. It's kind of like getting a supercharged version of the regular Nomadik box. So it should be pretty interesting. So here is our stuff this month. It's kind of neatly packed away here. So already seeing some pretty cool brands. You know what? Let's get all this out and then we'll go through it here. So we got something from Solo Stove, which is awesome to see. Got something from, how do you say that? Uberleben? I don't know. I'm probably gonna butcher that, so don't hold me to it. But Uberleben is what I'm going with. So we got something there. Let's just keep going and we'll go through the little guide. So we got some exciting stuff to look at here. Get this box out of the way. All right, so let's just kind of plop all this out, get all this on screen so you can see the cool stuff, and then we'll get going. The cool thing to see is even in the quarterly box, you get a sticker. I always dig getting subscriptions with stickers. It just kind of scratches that itch if you're into collecting stuff. Popping this sort of thing on the side of a cooler, or even like, I have a fold-up bike I like to put this stuff on. Cool to see that. So looks like Camp Cookout is the name of the game this quarter. So let's see what we have here. Lots of stuff. So normally if you get a monthly Nomadik thing, you get like maybe 3 or 4 items, but it's cool to see a longer list of stuff here, and you still get your Nomadik tips, a challenge here, a little feedback thing, and just some discount codes, stuff from the shop, all that stuff. So let's go through and see what's in this quarter's box. So we'll start with Solo Stove, a camping stove. So it's funny, Solo Stove, you've probably seen my reviews of their fire pits, which is, I feel like, what they're actually known for these days. But Solo Stove, and the reason they had the Solo Stove name is because it was made to be a stove for one person. It was just a really awesome kind of jet-powered wood stove that was made for like backpackers and campers and that sort of thing. So this is the Titan, which is one of their original products, I believe. So the portable camp stove, it's easy to use, low smoke, which is like their claim to fame, right? 304 stainless steel, made for sticks and twigs, lasts a lifetime. So let's open this up and take a look. All right, we'll slide this out. Cool. So it comes with, we get a sticker. Is that sticker attached to it? It's like the sticker is attached to the drawstring. We get a little setup guide and user warnings and all that stuff, but that's no fun looking at that. So let's just pull it out and check it out. And so this is like the OG wood-fired turbo like backpacking stove. And check this thing out. It's actually, you know what? I actually haven't seen one of these in person. I've got, of course, the Solo Stove fire pit. Check out our giant review video comparing that to a bunch of other options and everything, but we love that thing. But this is like the personal version here. So we've got our little cone at the top, which it looks like this is pretty simple. You just flip this over, pop this on the top, throw in some twigs and that sort of thing in there, and you've got a pretty roaring little fire. You know, I almost think they have a smaller version of this too, because it looks like, just glancing at the photo here, this is made for pots and everything, which I'm assuming is what we have over here from Uberleben. I'm going to mess up that name this entire video, so feel free to yell in the comments. But it looks like this is the bigger version. And the thing I like about that is almost like that you could use this as like a personal little fire pit thing. So out on a chilly night, we were out, I think it was last year, sledding with the kids outside, and we have this rock ledge up our driveway where the kids are sledding down, and I was like, man, it'd be nice to have just a tiny fire here, but we have a Solo Stove Yukon, which is like their giant fire pit, so it would have been super cool to have something like this that we could just start a little fire and goof off with that. So I really dig this. So you got your pot support up top here. What's interesting, so Solo Stove works by pulling in air down at the bottom and bringing it through these little cutouts at the top, and that creates that double combustion effect, and that's what actually eliminates the majority of your smoke. So they're not completely smokeless, because that's just crazy. Fire emits, you know, gases and all that stuff, but it cuts down that smoke that gets in your eyes and stings and everything. So it's kind of interesting to see this with an extra row at the top here. I'm not really sure what the extra cutouts actually do. But cool, that's actually a more substantial stove than I would have expected from like their smaller thing. This thing is sturdy, and it's all made from that 304 stainless steel, which is not supposed to rust at all. I'm sure if you left this outside and just let it get blasted by the elements for years and years, it probably would eventually rust at some point, but this thing is rock solid. Super cool. So that is the Solo Stove Titan, which is our first item listed here in the fall 2022 quarterly box from Nomadik. So next up is the Uberleben Kessel 2.0 pot, which is also stainless steel. So we'll just kind of complete the theme here. Let's pop this open. I'm going to put the Solo Stove stuff back over here. All right, so cool. Look at this tote here. This is super light, so that's neat to see. I'm guessing this is like just a little cook set. I don't know if it's just a singular pot. Okay. So we have, Uberleben, which is just the name I'm going to go with for this, makes some cool stuff. They also make like their own little wood stove. But it looks like we just have a simple stainless cook pot. Sorry, that plastic was loud. Looks like you connect this. I'm guessing it's got this little screw on here. Maybe pull our screw back. So it looks like we have a few different ways we can connect it though. Let's see if there's, okay, I don't see any pictures or instructions on this thing or anything, so I'm just gonna wing it here. So we've got this connection on the outside. I'm wondering if we have multiple ways here to connect this. I'm wondering if this just connects here. So I'm just gonna take a guess that you could connect it this way, which kind of keeps your hands out of the path of the fire. It looks like you could also turn it around and connect it this way. If you wanted to hang it from something over a fire and give it kind of a good center of gravity, you could do that as well. So I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that. I'm just your neighborhood YouTuber. But we have a nice pot lid up here with a cool little etched in wood handle. So do some boiling and everything. So you get your stove going, get your pot going here on top with however you're supposed to connect this handle, and you're good to go. Got a good set. I actually like to, it's got some drainage holes there. So if you're making pasta and you want to get all that water out of there after you're done, if you have the handle on, you'd obviously tilt that over to the side. But that's a nice pot, and it's 304 food grade stainless. Let's see, the handle can kind of stow inside, and you've got a nice compact set. So you got a whole little cook set there, making up some freeze-dried meals or macaroni and cheese or whatever you like to do around the fire. So cool. So that is item number 2. So item number 3 is a Survival Frog Solar Shower Bag. Interesting. So you get kind of the rundown of this here. Holds 5 gallons, just 3 to 5 hours of direct sunlight will heat the water to a comfortable temperature. It's fairly light. So let's pop it open and see how large this bag is. So I remember seeing these as a kid at like camping stores and stuff, and I was always curious about them. I've actually never used one. So the idea is just, it's black. So outside you got some good sunlight hitting it. Even in the winter months, that black just absorbs heat. It's kind of like wearing a big black shirt. Oh look, here's your tube and everything. It looks like you have a little shower spout. I'm guessing the control for the spout. Oh yeah, you got a little spigot here where you can run that little tube down and have your shower. So you got a simple on and off, just a little twist valve. They'll let that water trickle out. But as that gets hot throughout the day, you can get kind of a makeshift shower going there. Now, depending on how much water you use, depends if you're like an expert camper or not. I found with about a gallon or a gallon and a half, that if you turn that water on and off real quick, just from having a camper, you can get a shower. It may not be that comfortable, like, oh man, tons of hot water and just feels refreshing kind of shower, but you can get clean and feel nice and everything. But it does feel like a nice thick plastic, so if a branch hits it, you're not going to tear that thing open, which is nice. But yeah, the utility of this will just depend on whether or not you find yourself in a situation where you're outside and need to shower all that often. I tell you, the other nice thing for this would be actually at the beach. If you're going to a beach access or something, you know, hang this up from a pole and just need to rinse off, get that sand off you, get that salt water off you. It's kind of like a makeshift overlanding tool, just depending on how you would use it. But yeah, neat item. Not something I typically seek out, but cool to get in a box like this. So that's Frog & Co. Little hanging 5-gallon shower there with the shower attachment and stuff. Pretty rad. All right, so next up we have the UCOware Utility Spork 2-pack, which are these things, and these are surprisingly great. So I'll pop the seal on these, but these are, for being like camp cookware though, these are actually fairly nice. And what I dig about them, sometimes you'll get this stuff, and they sell these at Walmart and everything, but this, as far as like Walmart type stuff goes, this is some of the nicest. It's got this little band that holds it together. Take that off, you can kind of thread it through here. Or actually, here, I'll just pull the loop through there. And you got this nice condensed pair of stuff, but it's actually really sturdy. It's not like the cheapo, really thin plastic stuff where you're trying to stab a piece of meat and the prongs of the fork are like bending and everything. It does have a little like cutting edge there, which, you know, you're not gonna saw through a steak or anything with that. But as far as just like chopping some noodles, or I don't know what you do with that, it does the trick. You'll probably have a pocket knife or something with you too. But pretty nice and big and tall enough that you can get down in those pots and kind of scrape stuff out. But handy to have. I like the little attachment method here too, where you just thread this thing through to keep these things together and clean. Dishwasher safe, I believe too. Yeah, you've got the little dishwasher logo there. So cool, little fun thing to have there. So that is that, and we have a UCOgear Sweet Fire Starter Biofuel tabs. I actually have not used these, so that's fun to get that. So stay lit no matter what. Burns for 6 minutes each. Let's pop these open and take a quick look at these. You know, I've collected so many fire starters over the years, I probably need to do a video comparing like the dozens and dozens of different ways I have to start a fire and see how those things work. But Sweet Fire Fire Starter, little biofuel. It says keep them lasting longer by keeping them all wrapped up here. So I may not open these just yet, but it looks like we have little blocks. Yeah, you can see the indentations on there. So you just take that out and break it up. You probably kind of, definitely has a kind of some sort of strong woodsy scent to it. So they must be soaked in some sort of oil. What you can probably do is break these up a little bit and get the fibers exposed, and then use a ferro rod to put a spark on them. Whew, it's almost making my eyes water, whatever that smell is. Yeah, it doesn't say what's in them, but that is a very specific smell. It doesn't smell bad, it just smells interesting. So cool, we'll have to try those. Probably useful for lighting your little stove here. Throw your twigs in, throw one of these bad boys in, and you've got an inferno going in this thing in just a minute. So cool. Sweet Fire Fire Starter. Looks like we have some stormproof matches too, just in a simple little bag. Now these bad boys, if you've never used something like this, and these are shorter versions, which is kind of fun. They live up to the name. They're definitely stormproof. You've got a strong wind or something blowing through, you light these things up, they're not going to go out. You can actually even get these super wet. You can put them underwater and pull them back out, and they will not go out. But holy cow, do they smell bad. So fine for outside, but if you're trying to light candles around the house, or like, oh, we just want it to smell nice in here, do not light one of these because they smell like Satan's breath. They're pretty rough. Survival stormproof matches from UCO, always useful to have. I like the size of these. Man, I'm probably gonna throw these in like a little disaster survival bag or something, really small and compact. And then the last up on the list is we have some Yum Butter, it says. Some superfood almond butter. I guess it's just like a little snack. It's actually a pretty good serving of this stuff too, because it is a thick bag. So get some crackers, go out on a trail, hike around, probably pretty yummy to snack on. Not very much sugars at all, only 2 grams of sugar there. Now this thing says 6 servings of this stuff. So if you eat this whole bag, what is that? More than 1,000 calories in this whole bag there. So if you're just snacking at home watching Netflix or something, probably not what you want to eat. You'll be eating half your daily allowance of calories just snacking on this thing, but awesome for the trail. Yeah, it's fairly hefty for what it is there. So yeah, so that's it, guys. That is the very first quarter of Nomadic's quarterly box for us. So we've got this solar shower, we've got these fire starters, we've got these other fire starting matches, we got some Yum Butter, we got some utensils here, and then we got our big boy items, this cool pot kit from Uberleben, and then we have the Solo Stove Titan, which I'm super excited to get outside and mess around with. That's perfect for just being on the porch even, or just sitting outside in your hammock, wanting to start a small fire to just have. I really like that. Of course, it's good to cook on, but I like it just to goof off with too. So pretty cool. Like I said, this whole thing is about $150 a quarter, but they send you much more than that in value. All these items, I think this Solo Stove thing is like 80 or 100 bucks on its own. And those nice pots and solar showers and all that stuff is definitely worth a whole lot more. So pretty cool. So if you want to get the subscription for yourself or any Nomadik subscription, definitely worth checking out. Always have a lot of good value. Check out the link on the screen or down in the description to get either the monthly one or the quarterly box. It'll be a lot of fun if you like to be outside. That is it for this unboxing. As always, if you dug the video, be sure to hit that like button because it helps the channel out a ton. If you want to see more stuff like this, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.